Okay, so I've been wanting to make this video. This keyboard has got to be the best keyboard, MIDI controller wise, I've ever used. I think it's so intuitive, and it's I don't know how much more to say about it. I'm not trying to overhype it, but I'm just saying it's really that good. I did a live on some of the features, but check this out, man. Okay, so first of all, the wheels are real in the sense of they have this rubber coating. They feel good when you move them. They move nicely. The key bed feels better than the previous version. I'd say it's about 5 to 10 times better. I don't want to push it up that high. Maybe I'd just say about 7. If I had to grade it 1 to 10, 10 being the best, I would say it's about a 7. Incredible. Hold shift, hit user chord. Something that is not even on Ableton is on here, which is being able to see what chords you're playing on this little screen right here. Super clear, shows you the keyboard, tells you what chords you're playing. I love it. Okay, then if you hit shift, you can also access your drums. You can also access some custom presets, which you can make over here. You have access to the plugin where you can use the encoders to change the the stuff on the plugin. Of course, the mixer, the send, the transport, etc. I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm going to talk about some of the features that I think are phenomenal. I know I'm zoomed in to the screen. I'm going to zoom out just for one brief moment. On this one, the capture MIDI. Play anything you want without even pressing record. Hit capture MIDI, and you can't see it, but I'm going to just play it for you so you hear it. Boom. Just what I played right there on the screen. Huge fan of that. I love Ableton. I don't like a lot of the newer stuff they come out with typically because it wasn't my favorite, but this new update and this keyboard here took it to the next level for me. I was honestly looking at the push, but I'm not a huge pad person. But this is better to me than even the push, and it's way cheaper. Only $209. It's a controller that has everything I need to work in Ableton. They did not pay me or send me this. I'm just speaking from the bottom of my heart that how much I love it. All right, you got your track buttons right here. This button here allows you to navigate through. So if you're in the drum section and you have maybe more than 16 drums, you can navigate up and down through them. Of course, you can, trigger the if you're doing the clip session thing or whatever, you can do the live stuff with it. I don't mess with the live stuff, so it don't benefit me. You have 8 encoders, endless encoders, and you got the up and down. So you have Ableton allows you to have 16 per rack or on the macros, so you could go up and down and use those 16. I already talked about the quantize button. The metronome is right here. If you need the metronome on, just hit, you can even hit play and it'll trigger it. I'm not recording. Now if I stop and hit MIDI capture, boom, play it again, here we go. There you go. So you got your MIDI. You can do all that front, and I did all that on the keyboard. I'm only touching this to delete it. I could have undo right here. I didn't even have to touch the screen to do it. They made it so intuitive and so easy to move. But my favorite thing is this user chord, man. Being able to see what I'm playing and the scale, how you can do easy lock on the scale. Okay, so check this out. You can have the scale lock on, hit the chord map at the same time. Now it's already locked in, so it's going to play chords within that scale. And you can change, you got different adventure versions that you can try. You have this explore, which allows you to explore within different ones. Then you have this one, which is, okay, so you know how like in gospel music and jazz, they'll play like these really wide chords that you got to spread, your hands way across here. If you're not used to playing, that can be kind of challenging. So they have normal, wide, and widest. So it can spread the keys. And then this is normal, wide. Here are the sound spreads out, widest. So let's just do normal. Then you have your roll. So without the roll, it sounds like this. Put the roll on, it's like a strumming. Over here, you have ARP up, ARP down. Now the ARP modifier is pretty cool because it goes. You're actually controlling how the ARP plays versus like if it's just pressing and goes, right? It's kind of, you got that too. That's down here if you want to latch it, but so watch this. You could go, this is up, this is down. You could go up. Now here you have an inversion. So let's say you like this inversion. You hold inversion down and it gives you different inversions. The only thing I haven't figured out is, like, let's say I like that version. I haven't figured out how to lock that version to this pad. Every time I hit it, it goes, cycles through them. So it would be cool if you could lock that version. And it may be, I just haven't figured it out. This is a downward inversion. So it's just sending it back down the deeper down this way of the piano, right? Then you have another modifier where you can add a bass note to the chord. Let me see if I turn the strum down, how that works with this one. So what it's doing is it's playing the bass note, then it's playing the chord. It'd be like if I went here with this C and I go, right? So it's, there may be a way to change that. It would be nice because I'd like it just to play the bass note with it. So if I just want to go, whatever, but it is what it is. You guys can see this. Make sure it's in the screen. Okay, cool. A chord split. I'm not sure what the chord split's really doing. So I'd have to dive a little bit deeper. This thing latches on the modifier. Okay, so that latches on the modifier. Nice. See? So what the reason why it's cool that they're doing that, so when this is on, the modifier is latched on. So basically it's locking the modifier if that's what you want, which is kind of cool because then you don't have to hold it. So you could just go here. Let's say you want this modifier to go. You can do this modifier is down and just switch. So that's kind of cool. The other thing is with I don't know if I showed the fixed chord. So with the fixed chord, we're going to turn the chord map off now. The fixed chord, you play in, hold the button, press the chord in, and now it's fixed. But if you have scale on, it's only going to be on the white keys because I had that. So turn that off. Now any key you play, it'll work. Really cool function, feature. Chord detection, you can turn it on and off. So turn fixed chord off and you're back to here. For me, this is great for anybody who doesn't understand chords, or if you do understand chords, to have the ability to see what you're playing. On there is something I always wanted in here. I know it's in Logic already, and I always wanted it in Ableton. They don't have it still, where you can see the actual chord and know what it is. Because if I'm exploring to see what sound of chords I want, the only way I would used to do it was just record it into Scalar, and Scalar would kind of give you what they think the chord was. But now I don't even have to open Scalar. I can just do it right here on this keyboard. It's kind of nice. So look how, let me zoom in and see if I can show you the screen. I got this short cable here. Can you see that screen? Okay, cool. So hopefully it's not blurry. So the only thing I notice is it doesn't. Turn it back on. Delete chord. Delete chord. Oh, okay, now I get it. I didn't realize that. So look, you can program the chords you want, and then on that pad, and then hit function and delete it. So check this out. That's sick. Let's do another one. Wow, that's crazy. So that's what user chord is doing. I thought it was just to see the chord you're playing. And it's true you could, but now I realize it's actually to save your chord progression. So it's like Scalar, right? You're building a chord progression. Let's see. I wish there was a way to latch that though where I don't have to hold it. Is there a way to latch it? Hold on. You need chord detection on. The only problem I have is, how do I hold this and play a chord at the same time? So that's one thing I don't know. I have to read a little bit and figure out if that works. But yeah, it's kind of cool, right? That you can, not only, you don't have to use the chord for this, you could just be using it to see what chord you're playing. See, how do I latch this to where... So I have to figure this out. This is kind of hard to do. I wonder if MIDI capture will let you do it. Like if I just go... No, see, that just puts it... That'll put your chord in your... In your... Here, but I'm trying to... Wait, what are we doing here? Did I lose all my chords? Seems like I lost it. Oh, it switched to a different track. I must have hit the track button by mistake. Ooh, I like whatever that sounds like. So that's what I love about MIDI capture. It's the greatest thing ever because I play something sometimes and I don't even remember what I'm playing. I'm just messing around, and that's so cool. But yeah, this chord feature, that now that I understand what it is, I wish it would let you take this one and copy it here. And it does. Look at that. Sick. So if you make a mistake, put it down here, you can just move it by just holding it and playing it over here. So now you have MIDI capture that, and boom, now you have oh my goodness, I am so happy. I can't deny it. And I'm like gassed, not because they paid me or because first of all, they didn't. I wish they would, but they didn't. And secondly, they didn't buy this for me either. I bought it on my own. But man, listen, if you want a dope keyboard, that's a MIDI controller but it's way more than just a simple MIDI controller. This is the one. Now, I haven't even got into the whole fact that you can create your own art patterns, and I haven't even touched into anything custom, and I haven't even figured out how you can use the step sequencer on here, because there's a step sequencer that allows you to like program the drums, kind of like you can do on the push, as well as the other devices like the Move. You can program stuff and whatever. So that's all on here. But right now, this user chord thing has got me so pumped. The only problem, like I said, I have is I don't know how I could hold a chord. If there was a way I could trigger it and then just play, and then it captures that chord, that would be the way to go. I don't see it yet. Maybe it'll be a shift function in there under user chord, but I haven't figured that out yet. And the function I know is delete, is an extra button just to allow you to delete. And this takes off the key detection. So we don't want that. We want the key detection on because we want to be able to know. And I wish it would stop changing the instrument. So if you know the chord, let's say you know the scale you're in, which at this point I really don't know what scale I'm in because I did not turn on the scale. But let's say you did know the scale you were in. You could, in theory, then set the scale and now play the melody with your chords. So let me see if I can do that. The only way I can figure it out right now is I'm gonna record into these chords into, hold on, let me go. Shift or Command. I'm going to turn on 2 tracks, the scalar track, and see if scalar can help me just identify what scale this is real quick. So we'll go scalar detect. Super simple. It's in D flat major, okay? So now watch this. I'm going to take off. I'm turning scalar off. I just used it to detect it real quick, the scale. If it offered detection of scale, that'd be insane. So now we're going to go set the scale. We're still in user chord mode in the sense of we can actually have this set up. But we're going to go set the scale since we know, what did I just say it was that I've already forgot? D flat. I think it was D flat major, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll set the scale right here. We'll go D flat, which is the same as C sharp, and then we'll set it for a major. Okay, and that's the scale. It's all the white keys. So that's super simple. You don't, well, that's because we're in this scale. So hold on, let me do filter out scale. Okay, so filter out scale tells us that it's all the black keys and it's only 2 white keys, which is here. But let's say you don't really know that, then you just go easy scale, and now you have beautiful. And now hit your capture and you just played this, and here's what it sounds like. Hold on, let me drag it back to the beginning. Perfect. That quick, guys. Super simple. Now, had I known the scale before I played these chords in, that'd have been one thing. I didn't know the scale. I could have chord mapped and learned some and fixated that way and locked in the user ones. But then I have to use their user stuff. So I'm just going off of, I don't know the scale, but here's some chords I like that sound good. What scale are they in? And then just working from there. Now, because it detects the chords, right? So let's say it didn't detect the chord. Could I bring scalar chords into here? And that's the question. And it may be. You would have to set scalar up, okay, in your DAW to whatever you have device going on. Let's say I try it. Let's just go ahead and try it. We'll pick some chords. They probably won't be in the scale that's on here though, which is kind of, so we'll turn the scale off right now. But I'm going to go into scalar. I'm going to grab some chords, user chords. Let's get rid of this. Turn that off. We'll go user chords. I'll pick some jazzy chords. All right. So the question is, can we? And the answer is no. It doesn't read it back into it. It only reads what you play. So if let's say if I play, let's say if I trigger it, will it work? Because remember, I can trigger from here. So let's see if I hold. Yes, but it doesn't put the chord because it only knows that you played this one note, right? So you could set your scalar up, but that's no different really. If you think about it, that's no different than just playing this. So it's really, if you're going to use scalar chords, this is probably not the best way. It's not audio triggered in. I got to be careful. I'm about to tear this thing up because I'm trying to put it in the camera for you guys to be able to see the screen. So anyway, yeah, it doesn't, I got wires everywhere. It doesn't do that portion for you, unfortunately. But the fact that you can not know what you're playing, or check this out. I'm going to delete these chords. Okay. Now I'm in the user mode. To get to the user mode, you go shift and then this button right under here where it says user chord, right? Remember, it's detecting whatever I play. You could go into the scale, lock in the scale you want. So let's say I want B, just gonna make this up, Dorian. By the way, when you change it on here, it changes it on your computer, just in case you were wondering. All right, so we're in B Dorian. Now I only have to play the white keys to trigger a chord, right? Or not to trigger a chord, to trigger a note. So now I don't have to worry about what's up here. I'm just gonna go right here. It's only playing stuff. See what I did? So I'm going to put them down here at the bottom just because it's easier for my fingers to reach while I'm playing, especially if I'm playing multi notes. I'm just using the white keys. If I find a chord I like, hold this down, play that chord. Now I know that's an E5/7. Right? So it's simple as that. You can set the scale and just play the white keys. So that way if you're doing some intricate chord, now it'll be in scale. You can't come up with some unorthodox chords, but at least you know it's in scale and you don't have to worry about that. So you don't want that on, turn that off. You can experiment and save your chords. To me, that user chord function is top shelf for, like I said, for a couple reasons. The screen is really nice. The buttons feel good. The keys feel good. The MIDI capture is on point. You got all your transport stuff you need right there for the most part. And I just think this is the best keyboard MIDI controller I've used in years. I'm talking about years. There's other ones that are cool. They have some features I like, but they kind of like that. The Mk4 Mini Plus, not a bad controller if it was just like something you needed, something real basic. The pads on it are nice. These pads are really good too. Compared to any of the other Novation stuff I've touched, these feel to me a little bit better. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying based on touching it as of recent, these feel better. And so I'm just saying, if you need, oh, and then I told you the LaunchKey supposedly works for Ableton and for FL Studio. So if you got FL, don't feel like you're just stuck to Ableton. You can use it in FL. So I don't know. That's just my take on this keyboard. This MIDI controller is going to be my new controller you'll see on camera sometimes, depending on what I'm showing you. But it will be the one I use. I am going to test it with iOS just to see how it functions with iOS. But the features they have added to this has just changed the game for me, as far as basically I have scalar basically in a keyboard. Crazy. I'm dying to see how this will work with AUM. If it'll let me switch between tracks would be kind of cool. I don't know. It might be some programming involved in there, and I ain't that guy. So unless somebody writes a script or finds something to make it work for me, I probably would never do that. But I'm just saying, the feel of this keyboard, everything about it, I dig.